And welcome back to the Power Accountability League. I'm your pal Dan L. This is my channel. And once upon a time, I was a big fan of Cal L. Today's video is entitled Matrixarchy Hell. Let me spell that for you. Matrixarchy Hell. Now, if you take out the X, it's just Matriarchy Hell. Am I implying we live in a matriarchy and it's hell? Yes, I am stating for a fact we live in a matriarchy and it is a dystopia. Now, is that the only reason that we're living in this? No, it's one of the contributing factors. We went from a pseudo-patriarchal society to a matriarchal society, and what we need, of course, is a society which encourages the best for men and women. And there's a theory, I don't necessarily agree with it, that for the first 200 years, all we did was hate on women. We just oppressed and tortured and made women miserable. I don't really buy that, but even if you do buy it, what I'm going to prove, at least I'm going to give you my opinion, but I'm also going to back it up with some evidence. What I'm going to attempt to prove is that for at least 50 years now, we've lived in a matriarchal society, and it's not about a conspiracy, by the way. It's just people making bad choices. Remember, I said 1973 is the most important year in U.S. history because in 1972, the U.S. was still on track to build a better future for their children. We were still on track to create a more enlightened, civilized society in 1972. In 1973, we officially got off that track and we started heading towards dystopia, where everyone loses. Even though we're in a matrixarchy hell or a matriarchal hell, women lose too. We've stripped masculinity out of America. Oh, you've heard the phrase toxic masculinity. No, there's toxic what? Masculinity is not toxic. Now, if you want to say that some rappers are into toxic masculinity, well, guess what? They are lauded by our society as the oracles of wisdom. But that's a different video for a different time. For right now, we're going to stay on the subject of matriarchal hell or matrixarchy hell. And how did we get here? Well, I'm going to give you some. By the way, as recently as the 1970s, males outperformed females on standardized tests. Now it's the opposite. Females outperform males, and it's been that way for quite a long time. How and why did that happen? Well, let's do a little history lesson here. 1972. This is Playboy Magazine from January 1972. And yes, there are naked women on the front of the magazine, but let's read what it says in the little tiny biographical information section of the front page. Holiday anniversary issue. It's January 1972, by the way. Featuring John Cheever, Ray Bradbury, Arthur C. Clarke, Alan Watts, Joyce Carol Oates, Harrison Salisbury, John Chancellor, Robert Morley. I know this is tedious, but stick with me. Robert Graves, Gary Wills, Richard Mash Hooker, Ken W. Purdy, Richard Rhodes, F.P. Tullius. An interview with Jermaine Greer, Joe Frazier, Marty Licori, Al Unser, and others on the moment of truth. Playboy's Playmate Review, pictorials on the Tarot and Stanley Kubrick's wild new film. I'm guessing that was A Clockwork Orange. And plus an interview, no, I'm sorry, Phil Interlandi on The Exhibitionist and much more. Anyway, so you can tell they're appealing to what Hugh Hefner considers the urban male. But what's Hugh Hefner appealing to? What's this magazine appealing to? Well, it's appealing to men, obviously. This may shock you, but men do like pictures. They not just pictures, like sculptures. Men like women, and they like the representations of women, whether it be a photograph or a painting or a sculpture. You know, because most males are heterosexual, and this magazine appeals to males who are heterosexual. Now, if I wanted to be really cynical, I could say Hugh Hefner was targeting the magazine towards heterosexual males who were also white. Why would I say that? For the first 20 years of the magazine, I believe they had 4 non-white centerfolds. That's an underrepresentation of the female population. But I'm not going to say that Hugh Hefner was a Nazi. Why? Because I understand how that card gets played. He wasn't. Hugh Hefner wasn't in. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's pathetic that the joke won't even land because that's the type of world we've built now. That I could say something which is obviously not true, but stupid people say, well, it's kind of true. Well, what he just said was factually accurate. Um, but anyway, that's 1972, and that's Playboy magazine, which had a which over 7 million copies were sold every month in 1972. Over so, and the advertising research suggested 5 males for every one who purchased it, 5 other males perused it, or 5 males total perused the magazine. So that would be 4 others. Anyway, 7 million times 5, that's 35 million men, and it wasn't always the same 35 million. 35 million men each month looked at that magazine, or you read the magazine if you want to go and make that statement. Now, there were approximately 200 million people lived in the USA in 1972. 100, so approximately, give or take a few million, and that means 100 million men, and 35 million of them every month were looking at Playboy magazine. That's astonishing. Now, let's go to, and it says right there on the masthead, Entertainment for Men. It's a wish book, by Hugh Hefner's own words. It's a wish book for men. Like I said, it wasn't just the best-selling men's magazine in 1972. I believe it was the best-selling magazine, period, in the USA. And Hugh Hefner probably believed it was only bought by Democrats, I think it was primarily bought by Republicans, because it was a hedonistic magazine, and I think Republicans are, in certain ways, more hedonistic than Democrats. But anyway, that's a different video for a different day. But one thing's for sure, it was a popular magazine. At this time, Hugh Hefner had 2 mansions and a private jet, a big one, an airliner. So he's doing pretty good in 1972, and the magazine's doing pretty good. Now, this magazine also used to have a masthead. I believe it was something like, for the sophisticated male, or a lifestyle magazine for the male, or something like that. This magazine also predates Playboy magazine. This is Esquire Magazine. This one's for October, November 2021. Esquire Magazine. So, let's read what's on the front of this. Idris Elba, the world's coolest man. Well, I would take issue with that. I don't know if he's the world's coolest man. Back when this was being published, I think their version of the world's coolest man was Sean Connery. But anyway, that's fine. And it's not about race, by the way. Like, they said so racist. No, it's not about race. It's just that I don't know what's super cool about Idris Elba. Again, remember, popular culture is always selling a narrative. James Bond was sold as a narrative, and I'm sure this is doing the same thing. Also, let's look on here. Why men lie to themselves? Oh, okay, that's real. That's good to know. There's a sperm shortage in America. Okay. Buy this shirt, wear it forever. Do the people who read this magazine shop at Salvation Army? The raw truth about the forever war. Okay, well, they've taken the references to masculinity that used to be part of the masthead of this magazine are now gone. No reference. Apparently, they're not appealing to males. At least when I read the blurbs on the front of this 2021 issue at Esquire. By the way, I didn't pay for this. Esquire Magazine, I think, is having trouble selling their magazine because I got it for free. How did that happen? Well, I patronize a very large corporation, and because I'm a loyal customer to that corporation, they give me this for free. I don't pay for it. So, and again, circulation of over 7 million for Playboy. I'm just guessing. I have no idea. I'm just going to guess at something. I'm guessing their monthly circulation is 300,000, maybe 300,000. And Playboy is out of business in the USA. Playboy no longer exists. And Esquire, well, at least remember, this magazine predates Playboy by, I believe, decades. And this magazine was kind of something akin to Playboy before Playboy existed. Now, it changed over the years. Obviously, it changed a lot. Because now it doesn't, to me, it doesn't strike me. Take a look at their, I'm going to show you a picture of what they consider masculine in here. Let's find a picture of their definition of masculinity. All right. Here's their that's a picture of their definition of masculinity. I'll tell you what that is. That's toxic femininity. Look at that. Hey ladies, is that the guy you want to get married to, ladies? That guy right there? Got a blue jumper and whatever, I don't know what else. But I don't know. I don't know how if I were a woman, I'm not a woman, but boy, I can't even if I were a gay man. Yeah, that guy doesn't seem like a winner to me. So there's nothing cool about that guy, and I don't think there's very much cool about the guy on the cover. So the point is, if there's any women out there watching this video and you're unhappy with your choices for men in American society, you did it to yourself, ladies. Women, and by the way, how did this happen? Playboy magazine is no longer in existence. Esquire magazine is just a shell of what it used to be. It's not targeted to heterosexual males. That's for sure. It's a lousy magazine, and it used to be a good magazine. Playboy at once upon a time was, in my opinion, a good magazine. You're a sexist. No, I just accept objective reality. Males are attracted to females, and females, for the most part, are attracted. Well, what about? Yes, I realize homosexuality is a real scientific thing. I don't discount that, but the vast majority of people, the vast majority of men are attracted to women, and women are attracted to men. The vast majority, not all, just over 95%. So what happened? Well, something that our society will never, I don't think will ever admit, and I wish it would. There's one area of life where women are much, much, much better than men. Now, men and women have strengths. Men have certain strengths, and women have certain strengths. And in some areas, men are better than women, and women are better than. I realize that's controversial. No, it's not. It's objective reality. And some men, in some areas, are better than women, and women in some areas are better than men. But in one area, and you could argue it's the most important area, women are way better than men, and that's in the area of relationships. Women are better at relationships than men, and they are way better. It's not even close. Women understand relationships. They also understand the importance of. They don't just understand the mechanics of a relationship. They understand the importance of a relationship. Women are masters of relationship manipulation. Women, you've been told America's horrible. It hates women. Toxic masculinity everywhere. And by the way, when they say toxic masculinity, do they point at the rappers who have rap lyrics about hoes and bitches and mistreating you know women and all that other? I mean, if you've listened to gangster rap, just there's lots. So, is that the focus of popular culture or the mass media to put down rappers? No, they exalt sexist or misogynistic rappers are exalted as the oracles of wisdom in America. So the point is, you ladies did it to yourself because you ladies have always had, because of the insanity that men have regarding women. That's the insane lust, the insane desire. Men have an irrational, well, Mother Nature would disagree with me. Men have a very rational desire for women, but it's so powerful that it turns into an irrational desire for most males. And women are attracted to men too, and they have some and women have plenty of irrationality attached to them. But women can manipulate males much better and they're just relationships are a science to women, they're an art to men, and men are bad at that art form. So you women did it to yourself. If you because you women didn't shout down the feminists, the anti-male feminists, because stripping America of its masculinity, of its maleness, has not been good. There's a lot of leadership. Men have a lot of leadership skills. Women do too, but men have some very important leadership skills, and those are gone now. All the leadership skills are attached to femininity, and that has not been good for the United States of America. It isn't good for the world civilization. It's bad. And like I said, I think I just proved to you what's happening in the USA. One magazine's gone, and the other magazine has nothing in common with what it used to be, because maleness is looked down upon as something horrible. And America has to get rid of masculinity and replace it with hyper femininity. And take a look around you, folks. We're living in a dystopian society. And part of the reason, I just explained it to you. Happy holidays. Come back. Bye bye.